Hello everyone, and you are listening to the Video Gabecast, Episode 2. It is November 7th. Joining me is McChubbers. Say hello, McChubbers.
Hey everyone.
And Ensign Paz.
What's up?
And we are here to talk about the video games that we are currently playing and would like to be playing.
Oh, would we like to?
And that includes fighting with frame rates on your PC when you're playing games that are too far beyond your technology.
Yep, just like a computer.
Damn computers.
Goddamn computers.
What, that doesn't happen for you guys in real life? I don't understand.
Alright, so, McChubbers, what have you been playing this week?
So, do you guys remember that Final Fantasy VIII card game? I think it's called Triple Triad.
No, but I will sit here and listen attentively.
So, there's this game, this little mini game inside of Final Fantasy VIII. They even brought it back in Final Fantasy IX, but they changed the rules. It's bogus. Anyways, so there was this there's a little mini game in Final Fantasy VIII where it's a card game, and you can go around the entire world and like you press, I think it's square, and you go up when you go up to somebody. Yeah. You go press square and you start up this card game with people, and you collect all the cards, and eventually you'll get an achievement for doing it. Well, what also happens with the cards is you can turn monsters into these cards, and so it gets this very intricate mechanic of like playing this game. Well, I found it from my phone, and I've been playing it all week. And it's super addicting.
A lot of looking at that while you're on the crapper, huh?
Cool.
Yeah. Oh man, it's besides just toilet games and toilet reading. Yeah, it's been pretty bad. Been doing it while I'm supposed to be paying attention in school and so on and so forth. So, if anyone would like to ruin their life, it's not exactly Triple Triad, but I believe it's called Forefront, and it's on the Play Store. And it has different. It plays just the same as Triple Triad, but it a little different in the pictures. I think they're based off of just actual things like either zodiac signs, popular animals, things like that. It's pretty much. I think it's black and red. The cards are black and red, if I remember correctly, and But it plays just the same, and it's awesome, and it's addicting, and rant.
Do you engage with other players on this?
Yes.
Okay.
You can do, apparently, I haven't tried yet, I've just been playing single player. There is a button that says League Play, and there's Bluetooth multiplayer. So.
That's how you pick up chicks, right? Hey, do you want to play this card game with me?
I'm trying to press square on you and it's not working.
Then you never call me again. Is this game monetized in any way?
So there's two different versions. There's the free version, and then there's a ad-less version, which costs, I think, $1 or $2. Yeah, I think it's $1.99. So I mean, the ads do pop up. I don't believe they show up while you're playing the game, but they do pop up before and after you complete a game, which can get annoying. And for $2 extra, you give them money, and you don't see any ads.
I usually do that if I can.
I'm like, these ads are not worth it.
I usually don't do that because I don't have the money to afford the game. So.
Well,
I just put up with the ads.
This is in a world where I play phone games, which extremely rare.
An ideal world where things happen and we have plenty.
I think there's about 3 phone games that I've really enjoyed, and then all the others are like, hey, what's this? Fuck, delete. So it's that quick. So in this game, is there like are there transactions within the game? Like it's like buy this card, instead of unlocking it.
I don't actually. I don't know.
Well, if they do and you don't know, then they did it right.
Yeah, I don't think there is. nowhere in here has there been like buy this super powerful card. I believe you have to earn all of your cards through actual playing, which is how it was originally in Final Fantasy VIII as well. You had to earn all of your cards, and it took a long time.
Yeah, games back then, you really had to invest time.
It was the greatest minigame in the world.
So what's that called again?
I believe it's called what is this? 1 second. Forefront.
Okay.
FOURFRONT.
Oh, 4. See what they did there.
Square, 4.
Oh, that too. I think it's Square Enix now, right? They haven't been Square in forever. But they're still Square Enix. Anyway, play anything else?
Well, after last week's endeavor with Brotherhood, I finally finished that.
How did you like that?
I don't want to give anything away, but the only pertinent thing to that game was the ending. When they finally get to wherever they need to go in the real world, outside of this contraption that lets the main character play his previous generation. I don't know. But yeah, once Desmond, the main character, finally relives Ezio's past, it finally gets to a point to where they find what they're looking for, and then they kill off a main character just out of the blue for no reason. They don't explain it. There's nothing saying that this is going to happen. No foreshadowing. No nothing. And it happens in the last 15 seconds of the game, and it's annoying, and I hate it. The rest of the game is just filler. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so conclusion, you didn't like it, I guess.
Pretty much. It was, yeah.
Well, the problem is with games like this, after you've made a whole shitload of them, if you're not injecting enough new gameplay tweaks and the story is not worth people's time, you failed on both accounts.
Well, it just becomes a copycat mechanics, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is copycat in a way, but at the same time, the game is new. When Brotherhood came out, it took everything that Assassin's Creed 2 had, and it just added on it. Like, for example, you could buy sections of the town to increase your revenue. Given Assassin's Creed 2, it had its own little town, and this one takes place in more of like a GTA type style, where you collect the entire area instead of this one subsection of the game. It expanded on this by like, okay, now you're broadening your horizons. You're actually taking over a complete town. But getting that town wasn't pertinent. Like, it didn't add to the story. You just kind of did it. So,
Yeah. Yeah. You really have to... It's kind of like Call of Duty Ghosts. You know, it's like you got all these other Call of Duty games, and then when they don't bring enough to the table, that people say, we've seen this before, you dickheads. Yeah. Yeah. I thought I was a robber here, see? Yeah. Spent $60 on this piece of shit. Yeah, it's frustrating when you played 5 other games and then they go, hey, here's this new one, but don't expect anything new.
It's kind of the same, you know?
Yeah. I'll be doing some talking about Assassin's Creed later, but anything else?
That's pretty much been my week. Just that stupid phone game taking up so much of my time. It's really not that complicated either. It's pretty straightforward, and it's super entertaining. It's like a bad version of Candy Crush. That's so good.
It's very, very addictive. That's
yes.
Yeah, that's the way I feel about Rogue Legacy.
Oh, you're still on that?
Oh man, fucking Rogue Legacy.
I still have not gotten that game yet.
Ronnie!
I heard really good reviews for it.
You fuckers!
I played it. I did play it for a couple hours.
It will ruin your life in the best way.
I don't have a controller for my PlayStation, my computer. So using the keyboard is a little wonky, but it was still really good.
I see.
360 controllers, man.
Sony fan.
Well, you can do that or play with the keyboard. which
Right,
is
yeah.
better. I think they will be adding. Don't quote me on this. This could be a news story, but I didn't investigate. I think they're supposed to be adding the PlayStation 4 controller support for PC at some point.
Microsoft
That would be
and Sony combining. Working
Yeah,
together,
right?
is that, oh man, that's a new thing for me.
I know, right? Well, I've always hated the DualShock. I mean, I'm just going to be forward about it. But I would not mind seeing what is up with that controller because people say it's fantastic.
As long as you hate the original Xbox controller more.
I hated the huge Xbox controller, the very first one. But I liked the S.
The smaller one I actually really liked too, but the large one,
oh god, it was like half the size of the console.
Yeah, it's like holding a damn box in your hand. You couldn't really do anything with it except just it's in front of your fucking face. You can't even see the.
It's blocking the TV.
Yeah, it's blocking the TV.
Yeah, that thing was fucking awful. You couldn't even reach all the buttons. Oh. But I liked the S, and in fact, I think I liked the S, the smaller one, more than the 360 controller, if you exclude the fact that they added bumpers. That was a good addition. But I like the placement of the back and start button on the Xbox, the first Xbox controller, because it was right next to the stick. So Doom 3, I played a lot before I had a PC, and you could just hit that back button and save any time. So, game like that, you're saving all the time. It's very useful. And then they moved them to the middle, removed one of the best features. Until you experience it, it sounds pretty fickle, but
there's only so much you can do with your thumb and your index finger. I would love to see a controller that incorporates the use of your middle finger, your ring finger, and your pinky finger. That would be a fucking great controller because
recruit a porn star
to that.
They should recruit a porn star. They'll be able to inform them on that.
Of course, because porn stars can use all their fingers.
Yes.
All of them.
Yeah,
Every single one.
In different combinations.
Man.
It was funnier before the sentence, but I was letting Ronnie talk, and I was like, I gotta get this joke in. Well, didn't they do, wasn't there a controller that had, more, I don't know what the other controllers look like, but they had, the normal triggers, and then they had two more further down the controller on the back?
I'm sure there's been a lot out there, but none of them have been, very useful, or from an engineering perspective, they're not very incorporative of all your fingers. And not,
Yeah, well, it's really hard, though, because, after you get done with pretty much your pointer and your middle, your ring and pinky have much less force. On top of that, they're kind of tied to each other too. So if you were to use it, I'm pretty sure it would be a button that would react to both fingers, not just one.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too. Yeah.
I want heartbeat sensors in controllers because they added that kind of stuff in some gun. I can't remember what gun it was for what console, but it would I think if your heartbeat picked up, it would get wobbly. Your
That's good.
Yeah. So it feels if you're playing a horror game and your pulse picks up and it can impact the game, that would be pretty cool.
That would be amazing if you're playing something like Amnesia.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they can incorporate aspects of Eternal Darkness into games, where when your fear factor goes up, which is really just your heart rate at this point, then something like more monsters will show up, or you start seeing monsters in the game. Oh, that would blow so many people's minds.
That would be pretty cool. That's something we could talk about in the main topic. The controllers, man.
Oh, well, Steam's coming out with a new box.
Well, let's save that for the main topic.
Alright.
I haven't heard anything about that. But yeah, let's go ahead and stick to the main topic, I suppose.
Okay. So yeah, I guess then we will. What have you been playing, Ensign?
Pause.
I'm lazy.
XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Yay!
I just got that game like 2 weeks ago, but I've been playing the brunt of it this past weekend.
I hear it's really good.
It's a turn-based strategy game where it incorporates infantry combat, and it's very immersive because you can actually like switch between views that you want to. Let's see, it incorporates a fog of war where if you're at one point in the map and you try to advance your troops to another side of the map without even thinking about it, it'll reveal the fog of war and it'll reveal the troops on the other side, and they can actually like kill your ass. Let's see, you can incorporate only a maximum of 6 troops in each each mission that you're given. So usually the game starts off with 4 troops, and then you can actually like buy upgrades to incorporate more troops into your squad. But the maximum is 6 troops, and I just love the strategy within it. I'm not a big turn-based strategy gamer, but this one really like grabs my attention to the point where I really want to get into more strategy games, more turn-based strategy games. So
people say a game you might consider is Fire Emblem. People say that one's really good.
Fire Emblem?
Mm-hmm. Fire Emblem is amazing.
But you have to own Nintendo consoles.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's probably going to ruin it.
Well, I mean, you could pick up a cheap Game Boy Advance and some Game Boy Advance cartridges. But
the DS
Fire Emblem
has a slot in the bottom, the original DS Lite.
Yeah, that too. But Fire Emblem is really nice. It has some similar things. If your character dies, however, like they're gone. Anything that you could do story-wise with those characters is no longer, like, you can't do them. Which I thought was really amazing. So you had to really think about each individual move that you were doing.
Yeah, I mean, like, as far as, like, you losing each and every troop, it's just you build up a rapport with them, and every time you lose one, it's just like, oh, god damn it.
Yes.
What the hell?
Exactly.
And then there's a feature in XCOM Enemy Unknown where you can actually visit the, what the fuck?
Sorry. I'm drinking beer, so I didn't see.
Well, I am too, but I burp outside the microphone.
Well,
anyway.
Because you're not a real man.
Should we put push talk subjects in here?
That's staying in the show.
So there's a feature in XCOM Enemy Unknown where you can actually visit the soldiers that you lost, their memorial, and it's pretty heart touching after you've lost a soldier. So
he was with me for 50 missions, and then he died.
He killed 30 fucking aliens. Why did I have to lose him?
He was a good soldier.
Yeah. And it actually has bagpipes playing, so it's actually really emotional. So it's really very, very emotional.
Not to make fun of any soldiers that are listening or with us.
Yeah.
But
He's
a horrible communist. Don't listen to him.
It's
comrade soldier.
It's humans versus aliens, so there's no.
Damn
communists, communists, socialists, and Republicans all together in one fight against aliens.
There you go.
Yeah.
Is that what you've been busy with for most of the week, or have you been playing anything else?
No, that's actually what I've been playing most of the week. I've actually downloaded Gary's Mod. Have you guys played that at all?
I have not.
It's a sandbox simulation game where it's based off of Half-Life, and there's a lot of gameplay mechanics that let you build anything that you want. I mean, you can spawn anything, like characters from Half-Life and any characters that you actually download, and vehicles and other objects. But there's actually an option where you can play with the mechanics of the game, like, for example, build relationships between objects, like build muscle contraction between objects so that you can actually, like, pull something this way at certain time rates, and it's very, very complicated, But I love the fact that you can spawn anything and just play around with it and just, like, kill anything. So.
That might be something we could record someday.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think it would be really fun to actually like record us playing that game, just screw around, like throw off nukes and kill each other and
spawn 10,000 zombies. Go.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, let's just nuke it all.
I knew it. I knew you were a Republican. You moved quickly from being a communist to a Republican.
Actually, Truman.
I'll show you. Yeah.
So yeah, well, if that's all you've been playing, then I guess we will shift the focus to me. My favorite part.
Oh yeah, 'cause it's all about you.
It is all about me.
Yeah.
Hang up on both of you right now. No, I won't do that. We did that enough earlier.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of games this week.
Like?
I bought Tiny Barbarian DX, and before I start, I have not ever pointed people to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Gabe0083, and that's where I upload gameplay and random things that happen in my life. Like the other day, we uploaded a video of a bird losing its damn mind outside our window, and I don't know what his deal was. We moved the feeder. I think he was angry.
What?
Yeah, he's just. I mean, you can see the video, but yeah, he's sitting on the big hook that you'll put your feeder on, if you've ever seen those. Anyway, it's just a big hook, and he's sitting on the hook and just fucking losing it. This little finch, and we're like, what is he doing? So anyway, the point is that channel is for games.
Going crazy.
That and games. Only those two things.
Ever.
So you can see my video of Tiny Barbarian DX. It's all right. I actually think Volgar the Barbarian is in some ways better, but Volgar the Barbarian is impossible. That fucking game made me so angry last week. Cutting years off my life playing that game. But Tiny Barbarian DX is it kind of reminds me of Volgar, because you're a barbarian and you're just running through killing snakes and dudes with spears, and it's a 2D platformer, and you're jumping, from a platform to platform, and there's like a 4-hit combo that's pretty standard. You just keep hitting the same button and it will jam out this combo. There's a down strike it's an elbow drop, like Randy said. Yeah, I did it on accident.
Like
I was
the people's elbow?
Yeah, or if you're into WCW, Randy Savage, because this is like a flying elbow drop. You jump up, and then in Rogue Legacy, you have a down strike with your sword. You just point the sword straight down. This game, instead, elbow drop.
Elbow drop, okay.
That's the best thing about the game, I think. But yeah, the game is not bad, but it's not exactly standing out in my mind. From the little bit I played, it seems like the definition of a 3-star game. Very charming, good music, but gameplay is not exactly like, wow!
Nothing too memorable?
No, but it's cute, so I guess it'd be good if you have a kid, because it's not that hard, and I only played it for about half an hour or something, so that video's on YouTube. God, what else did I play? I played Battlefield 4 on PC and got very angry.
Angry?
Why'd you get angry?
Because I suck so fucking hard. And
that's not anybody's problem but yours.
I know, right? Well, let's see what happens. Well, you've been playing 3 a lot, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I play for Xbox, and I'm not actually that bad. I actually am pretty good by myself, but I've never actually played it for PC, and that's what you've been playing on.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, people are good on PC. Very good. And my problem is, I've had carpal tunnel problems for years, and they've been getting really bad lately, so I've been shying away from the mouse, and yeah, people on PC, they're quick with the mouse, and I've been trying to use a controller, and it's like, grrr.
You gotta go ahead and buy a shake weight from Amazon. That way you can, shake it off.
Those jerk-off weights?
Yeah, the jerk-off weights.
Yep, they just spray you with water.
Have you seen that YouTube video where they were like making fun of that thing. And
I've seen the YouTube video where his name is on YouTube. His name is Roman at Wood, and he like does a shake weight pranks in front of like cop stations. He turns his back to police stations and he just like starts using shit. Looks like he's jacking off.
Yes.
And cops go up to him and like, "What the hell are you doing?" You know, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm just working out, man. Just working out this morning. It's really cold and shit. You know, just working out." It's really, really funny.
Those are pranks. I mean, I like pranks, but sometimes I'm like, I can't take it. I'm too anxious, and I'll turn it off. I'm like, I can't handle the tension. I'm the worst. You should.
What do you mean?
So awkward.
Yeah, I get very awkward. Yes. You should have seen me watching Breaking Bad. I was like, pulling the blanket over my head, like I can't, like a 6-year-old.
Kind of reminds me of The Office. Really dry humor. They just like, oh god, people actually do that. I know they do.
It's so embarrassing. I can't. You nailed it with The Office, because that show, Steve Carell is such a dumbass, and it makes me so uncomfortable. That show's great. I saw the first few seasons and really enjoyed it, and then kind of fell off. But anyway, Battlefield 4 I actually like a lot more than 3, because they actually finally have acknowledged that there are a lot of people out there that like small maps. So Team Deathmatch is all smaller maps, which is great.
People tend to gravitate towards the small maps because they like in-your-face kind of combat.
Yes, I like the CQB. I like just getting to the action instead of, well, I'm going to fly this plane for 2 minutes and, you know.
See, I like that. I like that a lot. And then at the same time, I like other kinds of combat where you're waiting like an hour to engage the enemy, but it's mostly just about strategy. That's why I kind of like Armed Assault 3. If you guys ever played this
Arma?
Game. Arma 3, yeah.
Oh, Arma, yeah.
Yeah, it's a military war simulation, and a lot of the mechanics towards playing that game involve strategy and just mainly planning out, and like a lot of the people who play that game are actually ex-military who enjoy doing the whole like, you know, Roger 3, go over to this location over here, and you know, kind of talking like that. So, but I mean, I love Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 just because I like it.
So action-packed.
It's action-packed, and I don't want to say anything about Call of Duty. I mean, I like Call of Duty to some extent, but I like Battlefield more than Call of Duty.
I think I have some pretty negative opinions towards Call of Duty Ghosts. I got that game and don't know why.
You definitely have negative connotations about that game.
It runs like shit. Like, my PC, you know, I was already complaining about Assassin's Creed 4, but that game does not look very good. There's no reason why it should be so taxing. Not at all.
Don't you ever think that Call of Duty is kind of like a Madden game? Another Madden game?
I feel like Treyarch saved it from being that. I think Black Ops was a good change, a very noticeable change. I liked the contracts from Black Ops 1 that for some reason didn't include Black Ops 2. But in Black Ops 1 you could say, they'll say like, whatever, get 15 headshots with this rifle in 10 minutes of gameplay or whatever. So you would buy that contract and then get a payout if it worked. If it didn't, then you're out the points. But that kind of kept the game interesting. It gave you something else to shoot for. And then for some reason they said, nah, we're not going to include that in the next game.
Probably people sucked. And then they dropped it.
You know, I feel like they just pull from a grab bag randomly with these Call of Duty features. It's like...
I think they do as well. I actually didn't like Black Ops as much as Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 was my Call of Duty. That's where I really entered the Call of Duty scene in. Well, the Modern Warfare scene in, I should say. Because, I mean, the original, let's be honest here, Call of Duty 1 and 2 were nothing like it.
No, they weren't.
The later. But no, yeah, Modern Warfare 2 was where I entered this scene in, and I thought it was amazing. I thought the controls were really fluid. some of the guns needed to be rebalanced, but generally speaking, everything was good. I also play on hardcore mode pretty much exclusively, simply because I don't like shooting somebody in the head 5 times and then getting stabbed in the back once. So, it just felt, I don't know, Black Ops felt a little more clunkier than Call of Duty or Modern Warfare 2 in its hardcore mode. So, I don't know, it just didn't get my attention.
I loved the first Modern Warfare just because, you know, it was the first game to do the whole progressive online unlocking of guns and all that stuff. That was pretty amazing. And then the thing that I've noticed is Modern Warfare 2, they really favored people that played like assholes. If you sat in a corner, you had better luck than if you were actually going out and engaging people. And so they would build these levels for people to have the advantage of running up into this window and getting 10 kills, and then like running off into this corner and hide. And in Black Ops, it was, if you're not confrontational, you won't be accomplishing much of anything. So
that's true. One of the reasons why I did like Modern Warfare 2 is because you did have to hide. There was quite a few sniping spots or sniping levels, and if you weren't careful, you were going to get picked off. Again, one of the reasons why I played hardcore mode was because you had to be careful. One shot, you're dead pretty much, if you're any good at shooting like vital areas. But it's just, I don't know, I hate the idea of, okay, I'm just going to run and gun. I'm going to run as fast as I can.
Oh, I like
around
that.
every corner, and I'm going to guess at if there's somebody there. And it's just, I don't know.
I think it becomes a game of reflexes at that point.
It does.
But I kind of like that adrenaline.
That's why they make servers like saying snipers only, you know,
Yes.
snipes only, and all that stuff.
Well, competitively, everybody uses a rifle. Like, if you ever watch, seriously, if you ever watch, like, the Call of Duty competitions, I never watched them all the way through, but I've seen YouTube videos of the best people, and everyone is just pulling up that rifle snipe, boom, you know, just, they're all running with the fastest sniper rifle.
Yep.
So, it's pretty crazy. I'll never be that good. But yeah, anyway, I do think what they did to Call of Duty was relevant, and I think they saved it from becoming what it is now with Call of Duty Ghosts. I don't know what Treyarch is going to do with the next Call of Duty game, but I'm very curious. But yeah, as I said, I played Battlefield 4, and I like it, but I'm not good at it, and...
Did you have any trouble running Battlefield 4 on your computer?
Yes, I did, actually. Good thing you mentioned that. It has problems. Like, and I'm not talking about my dated PC, I'm talking about you're playing and all of a sudden the frame rate just goes, and drops down to nothing. And
well, how dated is your computer? Like, let's put a standard on this.
I have to look because I constantly forget.
Not a problem.
I have a AMD Phenon 965, so 3.4 gigahertz, and my video card. I was actually just looking at this earlier. I think it's a 6900 or something like that.
That's not bad at all.
No, it's not. But it's not, the Battlefield's performance does not apply to my computer because it will just the frames will drop down to nothing at random.
Is this on low settings or high settings? Or
no, I got it on. I think I keep it at high, not ultra, but one step below that.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know. And if you Google it, I'm not alone on this. There's a lot of people complaining about a lot of problems, network and computer hardware problems. Yeah, I have a Radeon 6900 ATI Radeon. But yeah, it needs work. And I died once because it was just like I was sitting in the corner and frame rate just dropped to nothing, and then when it popped back up, I was dead.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So, but when it's working, I like it.
It's almost as worse as you not having enough ammo in your cartridge.
Huh?
It's almost as worse as you not having enough ammo in your cartridge.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the reloading in that game. They got the reload times were pretty fair. Bad Company 2, it was like, you really had the time. I think I liked that about Bad Company 2 because the reloads were so long. It was actually part of the strategy to time your reloads out.
I think in that game, I used to always put the rifle on single shot instead of like burst shot or automatic, just because I didn't want to waste all the ammo. That was the best strategy for me. I always won that way. I mean, not winning, but just like I always seemed to fare better that way, just putting it on single shot.
I use the LMGs. Fuck ammo, don't need it.
Okay, that's always a good too.
Because I was bad at that game, and I just couldn't understand why. And then I got into the LMGs, and I was actually cleaning house, and I was like, yeah, this is actually a gun that's natural for me.
That's
you put a
the
bipod
greatest
on it.
feeling.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but yeah, that's the greatest feeling in the world when you're playing a game and you have like a million characters to pick from, and you're like, I don't get this game, this is weird, but everybody's saying keep playing. And then just after the heaviest sigh in the world, you randomly select one, and it just feels natural, and you're like, I love this developer. Whoever made this character is my hero.
Yeah.
And this is the greatest game ever.
Or a pistol. It's either the biggest gun in the game or a pistol.
Yeah, guns, characters, small things. It just you find it in a game, and you just get the flow. I believe there's actually a psychological event called flow, where it's actually needed in people's lives to feel confident about what they're doing. It's kind of a weird subject, but yeah, if you guys want to read up more on it, then Google flow.
Is that an acronym?
No, I believe it's just it. Yeah, flow psychological. Psychology. Man, if I could talk.
Google psychology flow. Okay, there we go.
Flow is the mental state of an operation in which a person performing an activity is fully immersed in a feeling of energized focus, full involvement, and enjoyment.
I'm sure there's a lot of YouTube videos on that subject.
I think the subject, just this in particular, is really entertaining because it pertains to video games so often than not. Because again, like I was saying, like you feel like you're flowing when you have a good gun, a good character, a good situation. Like, for example, for me, being in hardcore mode, I flowed a lot better than, say, Gabe here in his retarded maps.
my small maps where cowardice is applauded.
No, I know what you're talking about. Like, I've got that same feeling, like, where I've had, like, the correct character, the right strategy, I'm just like, killing people left and right, and then all of a sudden, like, I'll play the next day, I'm just like, I don't really feel like playing today, and, like, I just suck.
Yep.
So.
I would, there was one time when I was playing on one of those snow maps on Bad Company 2, and I was like running with my pistol, and I'd step through a door and blast a dude, and there was like holes in the building, and I think there was at one point where someone fired a grenade at me, like one of those assault rifle attachment grenades.
Okay.
And they shot it and hit the wall, and it blew up, and I ran through the hole that they made and killed another dude, and I think I got like an 8-kill streak, which is meaningful on Battlefield. Like, eventually I think I had to reload, and that's what brought me down. I felt like in movies where it's like dude with the sword is like cutting dudes down, and then it takes like 5 dudes impaling him to it's like finally gets taken down. That's what happened there. The whole opposing team was like, die.
I remember, I don't know if it was Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 2, but the thing I loved about those games is the artillery strike. Remember those?
Yeah, I used those a lot in Bad Company too.
Yeah. I freaking love those. Like, I mean, every time there'd be a map where we would just suck at like trying to take over like MCOM stations, and all of a sudden I'd be like, oh, cool, I have a fucking artillery strike. I'm gonna go ahead and just clear out that building and like go ahead and just do whatever, you know?
Yeah, that's fun when you know there's a sniper in there or whatever. You blow up the fucking building.
Yeah.
Or if you hit a tank with it, that's even better.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, spent a lot of time talking about Battlefield 4. Hopefully they patch that because it needs it. This was actually last week, but I don't think I talked about it. I finally installed Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 Platinum.
Oh?
Keeping up with the newest games in the gaming industry.
The newest $5 games.
Yes, it was dirt cheap. But I really enjoyed it until I had to build a roller coaster, and I was like, and I stopped playing immediately.
Too much strategy.
It's so boring to me. I just want to click the button and drop the roller coaster. I think what they should do is have pre-made roller coasters, because I like to see the customers' interaction with what I built a lot more than actually going through the long-winded process of doing all that. That's why I don't build anything.
So you build one section of a roller coaster and you expect customers to interact with it?
No, I mean, I didn't even do that. I was like, how do I do this? And
Death Machine number 3?
It's just a track that flies off a cliff.
Yeah. I'm sure customers will fucking love that.
Well, they won't be around to complain, will they?
No negative reviews. Given we don't have any positive, but that's not the point.
This guy getting on the roller coaster said this place sucked, so we gotta deal with him. Remove the track!
I mean, I actually do like Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 a little bit, just because you have to build your own track and actually figure things out. Because I'm that kind of person. I like to like make things. And so like making things in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 is just, it's more of a, not really, you know, of a nuisance experience, but more of a, like a, I view it more as like an engineering kind of like perspective. So, yeah. But I can understand like how people would just want to like build something straight from like a template and just have customers interact with it, or have the characters in the game interact with it.
Yeah, that's where I fit in.
I'm pretty sure they don't want customers interacting with it. They don't necessarily care. They just like the feeling of money.
Exactly.
Oh, money.
They like to see the dynamics of like everything interacting with each other.
Yeah.
And then getting money.
Yes.
Yep. Money. Money is the final factor.
I like that game. I don't know. I might try it again. It's just I'm so lazy and disinterested in actually building. They shout some templates. Anyway, obviously I played more of Rogue Legacy. Oh, this game, so good. I actually had a pretty good run, and I made close to like 10,000 gold.
Christ, yeah, I could never get beyond like a couple hundred.
Oh, it was crazy. Well, this game is kind of a grinder, so the more you level, the better you get. A lot of it's just a numbers game.
But it also helps that I can't freaking do it on the keyboard.
Yeah. Well, those Xbox controllers are pretty cheap.
Oh, did you talk about The Walking Dead last episode?
I did. Do we want to address that again?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, we can talk about it. I mean,
what are we talking about? The game or the movie? I mean, the game or the show?
No, the game.
Oh, the game.
Yes.
Well, Ronnie has not played the game because he sucks. I mean, I'm sorry. McChubbers has not played the game because he sucks. So he needs to do that and then discover the game is better than the show.
Fair enough.
Oh man, that game, I felt so sick after I played it. But
there's a lot of moments in that game where you just feel like the worst person in the world. Because you're faced with that situation. You have to make the decision of like, do I do this or do I do that and make this other person die eventually? Or do I make this little girl, do I feed this little girl, you know? It's kind of, it's very emotional. It's an emotional roller coaster, so
sounds pretty awesome.
That's why I think the game is a lot better than the actual series.
Yeah, it's good to be able to make those decisions and have interaction that makes it more interesting, but I also think the storytelling is just a lot more engaging. I'm not going to go into details, but there's a scene in the final episode in the house where you have to make a decision with a character, and I made a harsh decision, and somebody else didn't like it, and I was like, oh, this sucks. I'm not backing down from my decision, but damn it, dealing with consequences is difficult in this game. It makes sense.
Yeah, there's always a consequence in the game.
Yeah.
That you have to deal with, and like you're saying to yourself, shit, maybe I should have made the other decision.
Yeah, there's no right choice in the game. You're gonna be fucked one way or the other. It's freaking awesome. I really want to play Season 2, but I'm gonna wait for a sale. And I just beat Season 1, so I kind of need a break from The Walking Dead, because I marathoned episodes like 2 through 5. Not all in the same day, but I kind of blew through episodes 2 through 5 in a week. So, yeah, I kind of had enough for now.
Well, you must have been playing that like nonstop, I suppose.
Yeah, I kind of came home from work and I'd put in an hour or two daily. So.
Well, see, it's that engaging. That's
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty intense.
Oh, it's extremely intense. There's a scene where somebody just gets blasted, and it's like, fuck!
You wanted that person. That person was good. And
yeah,
yeah,
it was a character that didn't, yeah, never mind, I'm not gonna say anything.
There's a lot of characters that you want to be with and that you want to save, but you can't.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of characters that are assholes that you want to kill off, but at the same time, you're going to piss off other people if you kill them off.
Social dynamics.
Yeah.
Oh, so awesome.
I think the character I wanted to kill the most was with me the whole game, right up to the very end, and this person was so annoying.
There's one character where you feel like from the beginning,
yes,
he's a fucking asshole.
Yep.
But at the end, you're like kind of feeling sympathy for him and you want to save him. You know, that's the dynamic of like the entire game, like roller coaster of fucking emotions.
Yeah, every character has layers.
Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, what were we talking about before The Walking Dead? You didn't see the episodes, the TV show, did you?
I did not. I haven't seen the latest ones. Like, I need to catch up the last couple weeks, because, again, school's just been... school's been problematic.
Yeah, well, it's school. It's always going to be a hurdle.
Maybe.
Even if you are good, even if you have positive feelings towards school, it's...
Yeah, it's always going to be a challenge to balance my time, but for some reason...
School is all time-consuming, and it's important. It's important, but, I mean, it's something that you gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, Ensign, have you seen any Walking Dead, the TV show?
Yeah, I have. I saw the first season, and I really liked it. And then, as soon as season 2 came out, I decided to play The Walking Dead. And then I was like, screw the series.
Got your fix.
I'm gonna go ahead and wait till season 2 of the game comes out, because that's gonna be a lot better.
I think you should Google which episodes you should see out of season 2 and skip the rest of that season, because it's fucking horrible. God, nothing happens. Oh.
Well, see, the thing is that after playing the game, like, I want to make the decisions in the series, but I don't get the
You're so annoyed that you can't control the... Yeah. The Walking Dead show is a padded out show, but when it's good, it's really good. I've often compared it to Sons of Anarchy. It's a slow fucking show, but when everything goes haywire, it's amazing. So I think it's worth it, but you have to have a lot of patience.
Yeah.
I think...
Well, like I was saying last week, you have to wait for the build-up.
Yeah.
Like, without waiting for the build-up, you will never get any quality story. It's like, for instance, if you read the Game of Thrones books, like, the show's good, don't get me wrong, but the Thrones books like the perfect representation of this, because if you start at the beginning of Thrones and expect like instant action, you'll get some. There'll be a little bit here and there, and you'll be like, wow, that's kind of cool. But if you wait for like a little bit, you'll start to get bored, and then you just keep going, and it'll blow your mind.
Well, I don't mind storytelling and the slow parts, but it has to be. I want meaning to be in every scene. When you're deliberately padding out a show just to, because we have to hit this amount of episodes because the network said we had to, it's, Season 2 of The Walking Dead, man, that was pretty, over half those episodes were completely worthless and had no bearing on the story whatsoever.
Should I bring up Brotherhood again? Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, man.
That's funny.
Only pertinent thing happened the last 15 seconds of the game.
Mm-hmm. And the gameplay is not enough because you've already played it, in 4 of the games.
It's all the same stuff.
Mm-hmm. But, moving forward, I did beat The Walking Dead. I addressed that last week. It's amazing. Season 2 is coming soon. Probably recommend everyone play that, but I won't. Not yet. What else did I play?
Let's see. I have your profile up right now. Let me see what you played.
Oh right, you
stalking him
now.
Killing Floor. Have you talked about that?
I played that on Thanksgiving.
Okay. Well, that's interesting to play it on Thanksgiving instead of spending it with your family.
We don't care about our.
Okay.
Well, no, I mean we ate with the family, and then like most of our relatives that are there are much older than us, and it's just like whatever. We don't relate, and we had our meal and it was good, and then myself, my brother, my 2 brothers, we went to the back, and we had a few PCs sitting around, so. That was a lot of fun. That is an awesome game. There's so much free content on that game. They put more work into that than any other game I've seen, and it's $20, and they just keep giving people reasons. That's why there's so many people playing that game at any given time.
Yeah. Some guy named Asexual Predator just friended me right now on Steam.
Who's that?
I wonder.
Wait, what the okay, it's you.
That's great. That turned out better than I thought.
Alright, let's go ahead and accept a friend request from Asexual Predator. Mr. McChubbers.
He's gonna go put that, the sticker on the window. It's like the creepy dude with the hood. He's gonna go put one of those security stickers on his window now, like say, "You're not coming to my house."
Oh man. So besides McChubbers, Asexual Predator is my second account name, and I don't usually use it simply because, again, it goes off well when people are really like they have dark humor, but when they don't have dark humor, it's not exactly the most friendliest of things to say.
And a lot of people don't know the meaning of asexual. Exactly.
Asexual means no sexual preference. So you're a non-sexual preference predator. And a lot of people look at it as a sexual predator instead of asexual. So I'm caught in this like juxtaposition between these people that love it and these people that hate it. So I usually stay away from it. However, on Steam right now, it's there.
Yeah, I kind of told him we should probably. I don't care about it coming up in conversation, but I was like, I don't think I'm going to address you as that in the podcast every time.
Hello, everyone. I have asexual predator here.
Yes.
Asexual as a non-sexual, not asexual like I want to be a sexual predator.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because it one's so much better.
It actually originated because in League of Legends, I have a Smurf account or a low-level account that I created, and I needed to get a witty name for it because the characters that I play are all like predators in the jungle. There's this area called the jungle, which is pretty much any area but laning, which are where most of the people fight and do whatever. Well, I jump out of the bushes, and I'm a predator. I go off and kill them. And, yeah, the only thing that goes with predator is a sexual predator. And I wasn't a sexual predator, so I was asexual.
That's pretty good.
Sexual tyrannosaurs.
Right.
You've seen that movie, right? You've seen it.
I've not.
Oh, what's it called? Predator 1. The original movie.
Oh, Predator. Sorry, I thought you were talking.
All right. Get to the chopper!
Get to the. This will make this. Fucking, yeah, this will make you a sexual predator. Yeah.
If Arnold was a sexual predator, I would not want to be anywhere near him.
Oh god.
You couldn't escape his grasp.
He did impregnate Maria, his housekeeper.
Yeah, Maria! Well, Maria was his wife, wasn't it?
No, that was his housekeeper.
Yeah, it was. Oh, that fiasco.
Well, what's his wife's name?
I don't know.
Well, then why is he always... Okay.
But I guess she wasn't important enough, but the housekeeper was, Maria. You know, Maria, I'm going to impregnate you. You're my housekeeper.
Let me put on this predator mask. I know how much you like it. La.
Damn it. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
It's been a good minute since I've heard an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression.
I do it all the time at work. See, the problem is I used to shout like Arnold a lot because it was funny, but then it became habit. So now I'll do it like involuntarily, like literally annoyed about something, like oh, ah, and then, but not meaning to.
Yeah, it goes from acting to becoming part of your personality.
Yes, exactly. But anyway, now I will talk about the game that disappointed me because I realized that my PC is old. Assassin's Creed. What are we on, 4 now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that game.
I think I accidentally said 5 last week. Because there's just so many of them.
And I didn't notice, so it's okay. Yeah, that game, it makes me realize I need to upgrade, but don't have the money for it. That game was dropping down to like 10 frames at some parts, and even with all the settings turned down to low, it doesn't run perfectly. And my PC isn't a piece of shit either. So, yeah. Ugh. Now I know why people buy consoles. But I shan't stoop to their level. Never.
Nah.
Yeah, see?
Nah!
Maybe we should explain what that is.
It's Al Capone.
Al Capone.
I gotta watch that video. I'm just imitating you guys. That's all I'm fucking doing.
Well, have you played Awesome Knots?
No, I haven't.
Neither.
I haven't either.
God damn it. Well, there's a character. It's like they're a couple fish, and it's one character, 2 fish, and they're like mobsters for some reason. And you're like, he always talks like, you know, yeah, never catch me, garbage, yeah. And when you teleport back to base, he says like, you never catch me, coppers, and you're in the store and you buy something, and he'll say, I thought I was a robber here, see, yeah. It's so funny. I don't know why Al Capone, that old Looney Tunes thing, has always continued to be funny for decades.
The only thing that I remember seeing that close to that was the 3 Mafia birds from Animaniacs.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, like... yeah, you remember that? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Looney Tunes started it, and it kind of...
Well, I think Joe Pesci was on that show, and he used to imitate one of the pigeon birds.
Mm.
Yeah.
I don't remember much of anime. You sound like a baby. Al Capone is a baby. I want a titty. I was more inappropriate
from
than
the boob, you see?
Fresh from the boob.
Come get my money.
Now he's starting to sound like what's his face from The Godfather.
Cotton balls in my mouth.
Give an offer, can't refuse.
I thought you said something else.
Like what?
Yo, he said cotton balls.
Cotton balls?
Cotton balls, and
it
sounded like cock and balls.
Oh, okay.
It's good. Let's get back on subject.
No,
We're talking about games here. We're not talking about cutting balls and ball cock.
You said
What?
cutting balls.
Whatever.
Ball cock.
Ball cocks, whatever.
Oh, this whiskey is making everything funnier.
This tangent. This
whole podcast has been a tangent. So anyway, yeah, I played that. It seems really cool and really awesome. It plays a lot like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry 3, where you have a map and you just kind of go to those places on the map. So it's like Assassin's Creed meets Far Cry. So it's pretty cool. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do, if I'm gonna continue to try to play it or if I'm gonna give up. But yeah.
Well, I was talking to you maybe a month ago about Far Cry, and then I played Far Cry 2 on my Xbox, and I didn't really like it that much. I didn't really like dynamics of it.
3 is
the
awesome.
Whole the driving system and the whole. I don't know. I just didn't like the mechanics of Far Cry 2. But you've had experience with that, and you said it's really awesome compared to Far Cry 2.
3 is much better because there's a lot more to do in the world. Far Cry 2 was an experience that everyone should have because it's so beautiful, but all that it has going for it is the atmosphere, and you're just spending most of your time driving from point A to point B, and the game itself is not very fun, to oversimplify it. Far Cry 3, it's such a busy world with wildlife running all over, and you got all these missions you can do, and outposts to take, where you'll go to an outpost and you can kill all the enemies, and if you kill them all, then you've claimed the outpost. You'll go there to access your gun shop and buy and upgrade your weapons. And midway through killing all the dudes in there, they can actually run and hit the alarm, and then more dudes will come.
So would you say it's more like a Skyrim version of a modern shooter, I suppose?
It's smaller. It's much smaller than Skyrim, but it is an open world game.
Okay.
I recommend it. I think it's fantastic. 2 had a lot of problems, which was a shame because the thing, like I said, the things they did right, like the atmosphere and seeing the sun come up over the savannah for the first time, is a moment in video games that I won't forget. Like, I was like, wow, this is like I'm really in Africa.
Of course.
That's how I said it. Wow! Man! But yeah, Far Cry 3 is great.
Yeah. I think the fact that you can get eaten by sharks in GTA 5 is pretty fucking cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a big GTA fan, so I haven't played it yet.
Oh, 5 is really good.
Well, I've tried getting away from the cops by just swimming out to the ocean. It was on Los Santos Beach, and I was getting chased by 4 stars of cops, and then I just swam onto the beach, just swam towards the fucking ocean, and I was like, oh, I'm safe now. I don't have to worry about the fucking helicopters, and all of a sudden, a fucking shark just fucking eats me from underneath the ocean.
Ocean cops.
Yeah.
That's
ocean
awesome.
Fucking shark, yeah. God damn it. But it's fucking cool, though. I mean, I like GTA 5 to that aspect. It has that little aspect of sharks eating you to the point where you can, get a hand job from a freaking stripper, I suppose.
Can you get a hand job from a stripper?
Well, actually...
I wouldn't be shocked.
You have to get it from a hooker, not a stripper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whoa,
a stripper you have to take
dog on strippers. It's hookers that we have to look down on.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Strippers you have to put on a pedestal. Hookers on the bottom, okay?
I beat that game, and I don't think I liked any of the other Grand Theft Auto games that weren't. I liked 1 and 2 on PS1 and PC, because they were all 2D, and then the moment I went to 3D, I just didn't like it, and don't ask me why. It's like a Nintendo moment. All their 2D games are great, and their 3D games are like, fuck it, I'm old.
Oh, yeah.
But 5 was great. Even though it has problems, it is a fantastic game, and I recommend it to people that didn't like Grand Theft Auto 3 through San Andreas.
I've heard, I played Vice City. That's really where all of my GTA comes from. I heard great things about San Andreas, and then, like, I don't know, freaking your cousin in GTA 4. Like, I've seen that. It's bad. Every 10 minutes, he's just like, you want to go bowling?
It's so annoying. That stupid phone never stopped ringing.
I like playing GTA 5 online just so I can, like, somehow, like, go up to some other player's car and get in the passenger seat and put a waypoint to the strip club so we can both go to it. And we both don't even have microphones. We don't even know each other. We don't even, like, we're not even talking to each other, and we just know, like, as soon as we get to the strip club, we get out of the car and we just go to the strip club, take a shot at the bar, and then go get a lap dance.
I like how we're just like, we can do all these things we normally do without leaving the house.
Exactly. Yeah.
Jump in a random stranger's car and go to the strip club.
From somebody
I can
you
happily
don't even
say
know.
that I've never been to a strip club, and I don't plan on it.
Yeah, I haven't either. A friend of mine told me, I went to a strip club for the first time last week. It's the closest. How did he say? He says it's the closest I've ever been to sexually assaulting a woman.
Are you serious, man?
Well, he was mostly exaggerating, but he's saying because you can't touch the strippers, and it's almost like torture because it's like why?
I mean, they're not that great. It's just it's an experience that you have to have, or it's an experience that you just have when you're 21, I suppose. Because that's when I went to a strip club.
Well, I'm 24. That sounds like a bad idea. Like, they just seem dirty. Like, no
They
offense
are.
to the people working there, but like, it's just, oh.
Yeah.
You go there for the food. The food is really, really cheap. Like a steak that I got at Acropolis here in Portland, Oregon, was $4. It was a 16-ounce steak for $4. And I was like, wow. I wasn't even paying attention to the strippers. I was just concentrating on my fucking steak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Portland food is some of the best in the world.
Yeah.
Literally, and it's mostly affordable.
There's a lot of variety here in Portland.
Yeah, I mean, you
Food
can
carts.
eat Mexican food without having to worry about Whitey, cooking it for you. I don't know, like authentic Mexican food, and you go in and everyone looks like me. I'm like, wait a minute, this is not right. No, they actually have immigrants making food from their country, and I'll eat it. I'll eat it all.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, the food stands here are just kind of like there's food stand lands in Portland.
Saturday market.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
so
God,
you'll go to certain areas in Portland, and then you'll see like a line of like 15 different or 20 different like food stands, from like Mexican to Indian to Thai to Vietnamese to like Turkish food. It's really
It's so good too.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sorry.
It's so good you gotta burp.
Yes, see, the thought of the food is making my stomach go "Rawr," and feed me.
Yeah.
Let's move on to news.
Might be a good idea.
You'll probably have to delete these sections. But
I probably won't.
Whatever.
I mean, it is somewhat important to stay on point, but if you listen to Giant Bomb, man, there's about an hour of that podcast where they talk about nothing. But I kind of like that. I kind of like it when it goes off the rails. Anyway, news. Lindsay Lohan is supposedly wanting to sue Rockstar because she feels her likeness is in the game. There is a picture, and maybe I'll make it as this week's episode's thumbnail. I'll use it in the thumbnail so you can all see it. A bikini girl in the game she feels like resembles her, even though another model said, nah, that was me, and here's a paycheck to prove it.
Maybe she wanted to be in the game. She wanted to be in that scene, but she couldn't get it, so now she's really mad. Now she's suing the company because of that.
Or she's just an angry celebrity that's no longer a real celebrity.
Exactly, because she's been in court like 20,000 times.
Apparently, a guy I know. Yeah, see, you never catch me, coppers. Yeah, that's what she said. A friend of mine who lived in Utah, he could have been lying, but he claimed that he saw her working at some grocery store as part of her punishment. I tried to say penalty and punishment in the same word. I don't know how true that is, but it was in Utah. So, yeah, I don't know.
Could be a thing.
Could be. So she's trying to sue. There's a scene in the game where it shows a house that she apparently lived at for a while, and that it resembles it apparently. Not much this has any real standing in court, so I would not be amazed if they just threw it out. So yeah, I'll probably post this story in the well, maybe I'll post it on YouTube, because what I do is I'll post on YouTube and I'll post on iTunes. Prefer you go to iTunes, not YouTube, or hopefully both, because I don't get shit from people watching it on YouTube. So, but yeah, I'll post this so y'all can see it. Moving on to other news stories, Forza 5 is getting reviews. I follow Giant Bomb pretty closely, and Jeff Gerstmann gave it 3 out of 5, and he's a guy that's like the other Forza games, and his synopsis is: the great driving and great looks of Forza 5 get buried by bad menus, frustrating AI, and the disappointing number of opportunities to spend additional money on. Opportunities in quotes. Now, I think the final part of that sentence isn't the most meaningful, because they are incorporating extortionately high costs for cars in this game, in a game that's already $60. Some of these cars are apparently like $75. And apparently the developer, I don't know if it was Microsoft or whatever, but they heard people complaining about how much money they were, and they said, okay, we understand, and they just had like a half-off sale. Which is not enough! These cars should be like $2 or $3.
Yeah, they kind of moved away from the microtransactions.
Yes.
And went into like super macro transactions.
Yes, I concur. The word microtransaction exists for a reason, and when you're spending far more than the cost of the game on one car, they're fishing for whales is what they're doing, to quote.
I wonder how long it took each car to get developed, though.
I think you're unlocking it anyway, though, by getting points and stuff. I could be wrong, but I don't think these are cars that are like downloadable content.
Weird.
So it's this free-to-play model being shoved into all these $60 games.
That goes back to Mass Effect 3, where there was content for a character on your disc, on like the game itself when it gets installed, and then what they do is they turn it off. They turn it off, and then they said you can unlock this content for an amount of money. Well, the content's already there. We've already quote unquote unlocked it. It's just not accessible. Like it pissed me off so much.
That's nonsense. Yeah, they've done that. Companies have done that before, and it's bullshit.
Seems like a lot of the tracks in Forza 5 are a bunch of like rehashes of each other, so it doesn't seem like it's kind of like original content in each track. They're just a rehash of every single track. That's what I'm reading off of a review right now.
Okay. Is it Jeff Gerstmann's review?
I suppose.
Okay. If it's the one I sent you, then yeah.
No. This is just a random thing that I just got off.
Oh, okay.
Donnie Tarrant.
Yes, that guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, good for him. We are plugging Donnie Tarrant right now. Go read his review. I'm sure he's a part
One out
animal.
of many. One out of many, including this one right here.
No. You have to go to his because he said it.
Yes. Nobody's allowed to read any other review.
Well, it's short and sweet, so.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough. Okay, then go see this guy.
If you don't mind reading 6 paragraphs, that's short and sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, that game is getting some pretty heated backlash. So maybe they'll learn next time. Moving on, World of Warcraft movie has some actors casted. Yeah. Ben Foster, he was in 310 to Yuma, 6 Feet Under. Travis Fimmel, who's in Vikings. Paula Patton from Precious, Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol as well. Those are 2 movies. Toby Kebbell from Wrath of the Titans, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Was there Dawn of the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah, there was Planet of the Apes and then Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
I thought it was Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, whatever.
I don't know.
Who cares?
They're all like inconsequential.
Ben Foster is actually a pretty good actor. He's not that bad.
Well, I mean, my biggest concern of this movie is not the actors. Anyway,
exactly.
Rob Kaczynski from True Blood and Pacific Rim, Dominique Cooper from Captain America and My Week with Marilyn. I don't really know any of these people, but it's meaningful to see a video game movie get this far. Because usually they don't. And the director directed Moon and Source Code, and we discussed before the show how great Moon is, and everyone should see it.
Well, I hope their fucking special effects are good. They better have really good costumes in this, because they better do it justice. And by the way, it comes out in 2015. So.
The only thing that I want to see from this movie is a paladin go bubble hearth. Like that's it. If you guys have any like World of Warcraft experience, so one thing that paladins could do was, and it was really predominant in World PvP, was whenever they'd get attacked by Horde, and this was pre-BC because it was funnier back then, or Burning Crusade, one of the expansion packs, sorry, they'd get scared, and they'd put up this invincibility bubble around them, and the invincibility bubble would last, I think it was a half a second longer than your return to home spell lasts. So it was always funny, like, going off, attacking a paladin who was underpowered at the time, and they just frantically get scared and bubble hearth home. And this movie's been in the works for quite some time. So long, in fact, that I had heard about it. I'd heard about it years ago when I had a friend who was working as an account manager at Blizzard, which is pretty much an overglorified GM. And he was, I guess they were commenting about him being in the movie. So that's something, but it's just no. I really don't want to see this film. I think
a film like this needs to be really, like, they need to reduce all the details of World of Warcraft into, like, a 2-hour time frame where you can explain every single aspect of World of Warcraft, but, you know, every single film that comes out based on something else never works out that way, you know?
Well, they're gonna tie in all the small things that the players understand, and the people viewing it just won't. Like, it could be... the story itself could be as awesome as, whatever it is, Fellowship of the Ring, Lord of the Rings. That's the thing. It could be as awesome as Lord of the Rings, but it's not, because they're gonna play on like the small little quirks. Like, I'm sure they're gonna tie in some noob word, or they're gonna tie in again the Paladin Bubble Hearth, which is cool, I guess, for the people that understand it. But for the people that don't, like, they're going to be sitting there for, like, 60 seconds going, what's going on? And it's just going to continue throughout the movie.
Well, I think this movie should be marketed towards people that play the game. Otherwise, I don't know, man, how is this movie not going to just be another sci-fi, another, like, fantasy movie? I mean, how can you take World of Warcraft and make it into a movie?
Exactly.
That's true, because...
It's just...
There's no way to, like, put all the stories in World of Warcraft into a 2-hour time frame, you know? It's just not possible, because there would just be a total information overload of people, of the audience. So
feels like
there's got to be a drum down of details, a reduction of details to the point where it can cater to the consumers and make money. You know,
I think it's gonna be a win-win for me, because if it's awesome, it's great. If it's bad, I go So I laugh.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I'm very curious, though, even though I've never really played World of Warcraft. I've never paid a monthly subscription for World of Warcraft, so... next news story, DICE is not moving on to future projects, quote, until Battlefield 4 is fixed. That game has some problems. It has crashing, it has server drops. I have a problem where the frame rate drops down to nothing. I don't think I really need to read this because the title kind of says everything.
Yeah. I think this is an awesome move by DICE. It shows that they somewhat care about their players, though if they really wanted to care about their players, they wouldn't ship a broken game, but it's not exactly the programmer's fault.
Well, EA is probably breathing down their throat.
Exactly. The company EA is just, I want
evil
money,
empire
ship it now.
Yeah.
I think, well, I mean, I don't really know this from, like, personal experience, but I think one of the hardest aspects to test of a game would be, a multiplayer experience of putting 64 players on a server. How does a company do that besides, actually testing it in real life?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if a game is doing it right, they're beta testing, and they're beta testing hard. They're not just putting it out there for marketing reasons, but they're actually trying to stress test servers, stress test the game, figuring out if players are breaking stuff, and if they are, then challenging those breaks. And I see it all the time where it's just they're beta testing, but they're not doing anything with it. They're fixing small problems that are inconsequential to actual gameplay, or aesthetic things that just don't matter in the grand scheme of things.
I don't mind a bad launch because almost all launches are bad, and the reason is because they're not going to buy a huge amount of servers to satisfy that. You're not going to have that amount of people except for the day the game comes out, and then you'll have all these worthless servers that you wasted money on. So that's something I've just come to expect, but the game's been out for a little while.
Well, and then you think about it, like, games these days are really complicated. Like, there's a lot of programming effort into these games to the point where they just need to do like alpha testing, then beta testing, and then maybe even incorporate a Charlie testing. But these days, it's just games are really complicated, and the consumers are demanding a lot from like companies that produce video games to the point where it's just there's no way to make a video game that's catered to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, which is understandable, but I mean, I'm going to school for programming right now, and I understand that there's limitations and there's things that are going to be hard to do, but these guys are being paid like, oh man, an average outside of video gaming, a programmer roughly gets paid anywhere from $50,000 to $150,000 a year.
Yeah.
In video gaming, the job market is in such high demand for the employees, not the employers, but the employees, that they usually get paid anywhere from, some get paid like $20,000 and some get paid upwards of $50,000 on average. The more elite programmers that have been in the industry obviously get paid a lot more, but like, no, these people have gone to school, have been spending several years at least of their lives dedicated to figuring out certain parts of games and game development. And I mean, it's not a hard concept to where you build a good game and people won't want to play it. I mean, if you build a game, you don't have the time to program it properly, and then you ship it, you probably shouldn't have done that. You can compare any, what is it? Well, let's take Battlefield 4, for example. You could take that and you could compare it to Super Mario World. Like, Super Mario World was shipped when it was complete. And it was, at the time, I'm sure it was just as hard to program as Battlefield 4.
Well, I think it's a good thing that patching is an option today, but unfortunately, a lot of companies, especially like EA owns DICE, and they'll just say, fix it later. But, they end up leaning on the patching, like, we can put it out, like, whatever, we'll take care of it after release. And you get these games that are fundamentally broken on release, and all these people that dump $60 on it saying, what the hell? So, with most companies, I say, shit rolls downhill. Especially corporations, not to sound leftist, but the people working there have to respond to the demands of their employers, and big companies like EA exist to make money, lots of money.
Yeah, it's understandable, but when you're trying to sell a product that doesn't work, then you deserve to lose money.
Mm-hmm.
Like at that point, you're not a seller, you're a scam artist.
Yeah. It's like...
I mean, you also have to take into account, like, other factors, like the team that's working on it. Maybe they don't work together, and so they produce a shit product. Even though they had great expectations, the team didn't really work together that well.
I agree. It all bases down to their marketing and their management. If their management cannot manage their software developers or hire adequate software developers, then it's not going to get done on time, and it's not going to be a good game. And time and time again, Electronic Arts has had problems. I think Sims 3, when it first came out, everyone was pissed. There was something else that happened recently.
SimCity was not well received.
SimCity, yeah, that was a huge one. And it's just, it's not. I don't blame the programmers at all. Maybe they are doing a poor job. I don't know, but it's more. I believe that it's more probably based on the managers not paying attention, or the managers not caring. The manager's not talking to the marketing team saying, hey, we need more time. We want to actually make a quality product.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're too involved and don't really have the know-how to really support that involvement.
Yeah,
Exactly.
or there's other influences under their mind to, undermine the effort. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel kind of bad because, I kind of turned this into a pessimistic thing, but...
Oh, no, I agree. I mean, well, there's pessimism in reality. And
it's true.
Anytime you make a video game, it's always a human endeavor, and, humans always make errors, so...
It's true.
You gotta take it to that point.
Yeah, but a nice apology from EA would be kind of cool. Hey...
I think, and DICE is doing all the apologizing, even though it may not have been their fault. Unfortunately. That's how it works. But at any rate, I think that's about it for news stories this week. It was a pretty slow week. Most of the news is centered around next gen video game reviews like Dead Rising 3 and Rise and Assassin's Creed 4 and stuff like that. So, well, do we want to talk about controllers, or are we gonna wind this bad boy down?
Steambox.
Steambox. Well, how about
controller is gonna work?
How about before we talk about this, we take a break and I hit the pause button on this recorder?
I suppose.
We can do that. Yeah.
All right, we'll be back in just a minute.
Yep.
All right, we are back to the Video Gabecast. While we were away, we continued to talk about the Steambox and its weird controller with 2 trackpads and how it pertains to the controllers we are used to using in the past.
It's going to be weird. It's going to be so weird, but it's going to be awesome. It's Steam related.
It's going to be weird, but I also hope that that trackpad provides almost like a mouse kind of aiming experience.
A little more finite than the analog sticks.
Yeah.
Hopefully dynamic to the point where you just if you're losing a battle, you can use your head as a head button, panic button. Just bang your head on the screen, and it'll automatically win the game for you.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that already. It doesn't seem to work though.
Oh.
Damn you, TV!
If you're not getting a concussion, you aren't doing it right.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
I thought that's what all the Wii owners were doing. No, I was throwing their controllers at the TV. Never mind.
That was before they incorporated a little hand wrist setup, so you wouldn't throw the controller away.
Yeah, man. So many YouTube videos.
I could totally see how the company didn't expect that happening.
Mm-hmm.
You can only imagine the first time that happened. It's got to be it had to have happened in the testing area, and they're oh shit.
No, that's not
a thing.
Happen. That's not gonna happen. So let's just go ahead and produce a product. And then all of a sudden, like 3 months later, boom, all these requests to get to complete the product or to fix the problem.
Was it? Nintendo actually had a thing for. I can't remember what controller it was. One of their controllers, they had so many complaints about it that they actually had a clause somewhere saying that if you requested, if you contacted them requesting a pair of special video game gloves, then they would provide them to you because so many people were getting blisters and burns from like playing games too hard.
What? Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like an N64 problem.
I think it might have been an N64. I remember I got blisters from playing N64. Oh, those were some good days. Killer Instinct Gold, me and this other guy got really into it, and it was, needless to say, my thumbs might still have scars.
Killer Instinct is getting rated pretty well, that new one, I mean.
I haven't played the new one.
Yeah, it's for Xbox One and PS4,
okay.
I believe. But yeah, the Steam box, it's supposed to be a, why don't you explain it, McChubbers, because you seem to know something about it.
So, Steambox is going to be pretty much, for all intents and purposes, a console for your Steam account, or your Steam games, that allows you to play your PC games with a controller instead of mouse and keyboard. Now, that can be good and bad depending on the game. For example, something like Fable 3, where it's really hard to control your character with a mouse and keyboard, that's going to be amazing. However, I'm a firm believer that games like first-person shooters will be much better on the keyboard and mouse. With that said, though, you can still connect a keyboard and mouse to your Steam box. And what this will allow you to do is buy a next-generation console for the most part and allow you to hook it up to your TV to play it rather than owning the latest and greatest PC to play these monstrous games on. So I think it's really going to be cool. There's going to be tons of different companies that are developing the Steam boxes. So you're going to see the equivalent of like the PS3 in different shapes and sizes, or I guess PS4 because things are getting later and greater. But you could see like Alienware Steam boxes or Toshiba Steam boxes or Hewlett Packard. Like it's just you're going to have like these really dynamic machines in your homes without paying premium for a good computer. And I think it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I think that any kind of competition for these home video game consoles is a good thing.
Yeah. Well, it'll really put them in their place because with this, we'll see better quality for PC games, and instead of just getting ports, these really, really bad ports.
Yeah.
Again, I cannot stress Fable 3 enough. I really looked forward to playing that on the computer, and it was just I couldn't do it. I couldn't get past the control scheme.
Did you use a controller?
No, I didn't, because I don't feel like I should have to use a controller on a PC, because that's what I have my consoles for.
Well,
that's the exact same way I feel. Like I don't really feel like I should use a controller either. Like I have my keyboard, I have all these buttons that I could dynamically use. Why should it be limited to a controller?
Because 4 movement keys are not the same as 360 on a D-pad.
Hey, if you memorize them good enough, you can actually use them.
I agree. Like some games, it's really, really nice to have dynamic movement with a analog stick or some sort of.
I meant to say analog stick.
Yeah, but which is I think going to be great. I think the Steam box is again going to open up those boundaries where hey we have a controller that you can use, or you can plug in the mouse and keyboard. You can do whatever the hell you want, and we're not going to limit it. If you don't want to buy an end-game gaming rig, but you still want access to literally every game available, then get this. Because, again, you're going to have access to the latest Assassin's Creeds. You're going to have access to old games from like the Sega generation. You're going to have access to all the indie games, and you're not going to pay an arm and a leg for them. Yeah, every single Steam game will be available for the system eventually.
But not all games are on Steam though. Not to rain on your parade here, but
I mean, you look at the percentages of games that are available that you can buy compared to the ones that you can't.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, you don't even need if you have a PC or the Steam box whenever it happens, you don't really need a console.
Yeah. At that point it renders like the PS4 and the Xbox moot as long as you have a good Steam box. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, I'm going to try playing devil's advocate now because there's going to be problems. One, Steam's entering a new field here, which is consoles, and they haven't really done that before. I mean, they've dabbled in it a little bit with the Orange Box and Half-Life, but generally speaking, yeah.
Do you remember Half-Life on the original Xbox?
I played it on the PS2, I believe, and it was...
I mean, I'm sorry, I meant Half-Life 2 on the original Xbox.
See, the thing is, I don't even remember the Orange Box. So.
The Orange Box was just it was a DVD with Half-Life 2 and Team Fortress 2?
Team Fortress and Portal.
Yeah.
And then they also brought out Portal 2. So they brought out Portal 2 for the PS3 to implement Steam on the PS3. And in order to really push Steam for consoles, they allowed you to get a free copy of the PC's version of Portal 2
I remember
and
that.
your PS3 version. And I remember talking to my friend, my old roommate Ben, and he was like, I asked him if he'd be willing to buy a version of the PS3 game so I could see how it plays on the PS3, and then I'd give him the code to the computer version, because, I mean, you buy it off Steam, you're not going to get the code anyways. And he had some really weird logic I never actually ended up getting it. I don't remember what his excuse was, but it was really dumb. But no, I thought it was really cool. Like, you get two games for the price of one, given it's two of the same game. Just Steam's so amazing.
Sony's doing that now with cross-buy, where you buy a game for the Vita or whatever, and then it's you can play it on, I think, PS4. You can buy a game and it's available on multiple platforms.
Gotcha. That's pretty cool.
So yeah, Steambox is a new confusing thing, and it's hard to say how it's going to pan out, but any competition is good competition.
Yes.
It's gonna be another N64, okay? So
it's gonna have 3 fucking handles on it.
Exactly. They're gonna come out with Mario 64.
The Steam edition.
I missed that whole generation. I did not have a PS1. Oh, I did much later in lifetime.
Dude, I was so excited for N64, when I was 8, 10, 13. I can't even remember.
Yeah. It's a long time ago.
It was so fucking cool. I was like, oh, I'm so poor, but I can't afford an N64, so I'll just go to my friend's house and play it. You know?
Yeah. I thought the N64 had a few really good games, but the quantity of good games on the PS1 was pretty, it kind of dwarfed the N64 in my mind. But
oh yeah.
Yeah, very much so.
But if we're done talking about the Steam box, I think that might do it for this week's podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking for 3 hours, and of course, let's get done with it.
Why? I could talk all night. I have beer. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. Please email videogabe 0083@gmail.com. Send your emails there, and we will hope to read them on the show, because nobody's emailed us. There's no emails this week. So
I'm gonna cry.
Yes, you should all be very ashamed of yourselves.
These newbies are crying. Newbies are crying.
He's actually watching The Notebook, and no one knows it. But Man, that was funny, man. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys, and we will hopefully record another podcast next week. Share this with everybody you know. We got like 35 downloads last week, so not horrible for a week-old podcast or whatever it is. So, anyway, thanks for your time, and have a good week.
See ya.
Bye.